Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to EduTALK. EduTALK is a weekly virtual talk show created out of the need for a global learning community. And we focus on topics that enlighten your day and your evening, as well as showcase people who are doing wonderful work across the globe. Our guest this evening is Mr. Timitayo, and he is joined I am joined with Dr. Noel Gordon. And we are here to talk to Temitayo Adekola, and he's an author and he's based in England. So, Dr. Gordon, we're going to showcase Temitayo today. Let's give our viewers a little bit about him first before we hand over to him and he can tell us a little bit more. You know that is not scripted.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to Timoteo. Uh,
Yeah,
so I want to tell the world a little bit about you. Temitayo Adekola is a Nigerian author, playwright, and aspiring screenwriter with a background in philosophy. Young man, 27 years old. Did I get it right? 27
yeah,
years old and has written 5 books. He's passionate about storytelling that challenges societal norms. He writes powerful fiction and explores identity, resilience, and the African experience. His acclaimed book, Trauma, which I've had the privilege of reviewing, sheds light on the trauma surrounding dyslexia and sickle cell diseases through the eyes of young boys, 2 young boys. He's based in the UK, and Timothy continues to use his voice to inspire empathy, provoke thought, and amplify marginalized stories. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm so humbled.
Is there, Timitar, is there anything there that you want to add to for viewers to know? Like personally, who really are you and a little bit about your background too that you didn't put in there. Because that's very, very professional.
Yeah, okay. I am Temitayo Adekola from Nigeria, and I'm a playwright and an aspiring screenwriter because I feel I can still go in deep into, showcasing my books and my story to the world through, the screen. And I studied philosophy, and actually, it it added to my experience in storytelling and the way I visualize things generally.
All right, good, good. Thank you. So Dr. Noel Gordon coined this, and we're gonna use as our title, The Courage to Create.
Yeah,
A very deep title, The Courage to Create, because if you look at it, you're linking it with the creator that actually afforded us our creative mind to generate some things. And thinking about creation is not making, is to take from nothing our own ideas from
yeah,
what we conceived out of our darkness by sitting in some people refer to it as in our boredom, in some not entertaining. We're sitting there in our own self and taking something and put on paper. I look at it as a blank page. And by the
yeah,
end of the day, you have a beautiful art, a beautiful story, a beautiful art piece on that. And somebody say, well, where did this come from?
yeah.
You
How did
say,
you think about this?
yeah, and you say, okay, it came from my imagination. So creation is very deep, and we're actually losing that nowadays. With a lot of things we can talk about with computer generated images, writing, and so on, that people are doing the shorthand and not giving themselves time to create something. Creation is from nothing and imagination. All right, so tell us a little bit about your inspiration and if you want to highlight even one of the books that you think is your best piece that you created from your own imagination.
Oh, thank you, doctor. And okay, let me start from where my inspiration comes from. I feel like my inspiration comes from curiosity. Like I'm a very curious person, and when you talk about some unrepresented topics, like people don't really talk about, but it's really affecting the nation, it's really affecting the society, I feel like, okay, I can write about this topic. People are going through it. The stigmatization, the pain people are going through about those topics. I feel like I can write about it. Although people will say maybe because I study philosophy, that is why I'm very, very curious about this topic. Or probably I feel it's just my insight sometimes. But my inspiration always comes from my curiosity because I listen to news so much, especially BBC News, and I check their interviews out. I look at what people say about stuff. So it's just from curiosity, basically. And the book I actually love the most presently is Trauma. Trust me, like I feel like trauma is from something that is so personal to me, like especially from the aspect of Africa, because a lot of people don't know much about sickle cell and dyslexia, and that is the two main topic about the book, especially dyslexia. When we talk about dyslexia in African society, we don't pay a lot of attention to it because I feel I don't blame the teachers because I feel they too they don't know much about it. Then I came to England. I feel like, oh, they're talking about these people. They have classes for these people. Yeah, but in Africa, imagine you have 20, 60 students in a class. So most times the teachers pay attention to the brilliant ones without knowing what is going on with the others. So most times I feel like dyslexia is something that inability to read and write so well, and it is something that is hereditary, not that the carrier actually purposely want to have dyslexia. So I said it's from something that's so personal. I feel like I had this stuff and I was going through it, even though I'm this kind of person that I feel like no matter where I am, no matter what is going on in my life, I actually want to achieve success. So I persevere and tell myself I have to succeed in anything I do.
Yes.
So, trauma for me in the aspect of dyslexia is there, and in the aspect of sickle cell, like I said, based on my curiosity, I know sickle cell also is hereditary. So I try to bring these two topics together, talk about it in the community where they don't really talk about it, or where they treat the career, the people that has this stuff in a different way. They see them in a different way. So I try to, resonate to people who are going through these challenges that, oh, there's somebody that have spoken our mind. There's somebody that have appreciate what we are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's important.
so most times I get people that are like, oh, thank you for talking about this topic. Thank you for doing this. And everything is just based on my curiosity. Trust me.
Yeah. That's powerful, Dr. Garden. The curiosity. And actually with empathy
Yeah.
linked with those two. That's yeah.
Yeah. And that is what really intrigues me for such a young person to be so empathetic and to be so concerned about the marginalized and disenfranchised, because individuals are stereotyped. But one of the things that I'd like to ask you, I'm a writer, and Dr. Dice is also an author. And
Yeah.
it is, we know how hard it is for us to write just a little bit. You write on 5 books. I'd like to know, what are some of the obstacles that you have faced and some of the challenges and the writer's block, and just tell me, and how do you overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, like I said to myself, I'm a very determined person. If I really want to do something, I would. But I have obstacles most times. Like I said, based on personal curiosity, I feel like I have this thing called dyslexia, and I have self doubt most times. Like, can I really write this topic? So
Hold on, let
most
me
times when
let me interject for a moment. You have dyslexia?
I said based on my curiosity. It's not that as if I went for I went for what's it called, like a treatment, or I went for checkup. But most based on my curiosity, I feel like I do have dyslexia.
Okay, okay. Go ahead.
Because because most times when I write books, I do a lot of research, and when I was reading about dyslexia, I studied about dyslexia, know the symptoms, the way they react. So I said, okay, maybe I have dyslexia based on curiosity. And there's different types of dyslexia, developmental dyslexia sometimes. So most times I feel like self-doubt most times. Like I've explained to you once, like when I lost my mom, I was blank. I did not write anything. Like I wasn't concentrating on writing any book. Although I have it inside of me to write, but I feel blank. Like the I'm not really paying attention to a lot of things anymore. So most times about my writing is just self doubt.
Mhm,
Trust me, self doubt.
mhm. Yeah. So let me ask you a quick one based on your background and so on, because you focus on the book, trauma with
Yeah.
dyslexia and so on, and the boys that you interviewed. And are they family members or they're people you come to understand and observe? So that's one. And the the experience, because you moved to England from Africa,
Yeah.
from Nigeria. The experience that you had growing up in Nigeria, how did that play any part in you focusing on it? Because I'm thinking of even myself too, growing up a certain way in Jamaica. Um, the things that I write about or talk about, it might not be because I'm influenced by my immediate growing up situation. It might be something that I see as a cause or it's relevant today, and I talk about those things. So, did you have your curiosity and experience from you were a child and you said, I need to focus on this, regardless of what is happening to me, for example, in England and so on. I want to keep this as my focus.
Yeah, thank you. For me, I feel like as a writer, they used to say something: is either you experience it or you learn from people's experience. And I feel like from my background, environmental influence shaped the kind of way we think about stuff sometimes. So when we leave our environment and go and explore out of our environment, you feel like, oh, you have been to another place that they don't have the same ideology as you have
Mhm.
from back home. Now, my story that I've written are based on Africa, are based in Nigeria because of where I've actually lived, where I've actually shaped my kind of mentality. So most times I feel like my background actually helped me. And I told you I studied philosophy, African philosophy sometimes, the way you think about things, the way, when people around you don't study philosophy sometimes, and the way they talk, you feel like, no, it's not like that. Based on my own curiosity and my childhood, background, I feel like it actually shaped the kind of story that I'm writing now.
Yeah, Dr. Noel, let me ask a follow-up question before you jump in here.
Yeah,
What's the difference? Because I'm very intrigued by this. I know about Eastern philosophy and the philosophy that when I was studying, I spent 2 years in the seminary when I was younger, trying to become a Catholic priest. And I changed my mind, and that could be another show in itself, Dr. Noel. Um, the religious philosophy is a little bit different from secular. And
yeah,
yeah, so the African philosophy, give
yeah,
us a little bit about, because I know we are of African descent. We Jamaicans and a lot of people in the West here who have dark skin. We might not, I know Africans might say, you're not an African, you're mixed with other things out there.
yeah, yeah,
But we adopt we not even adopt, we actually have some of it in our blood,
yeah,
and the way we were raised with our grandparents and so on, we share some of that deep thoughts and the stories that we talk about is some of it is from our African descent.
Yeah.
What's unique about African philosophy that you have studied it formally, and we
Yeah.
have learned it informally in our homes and families. So what is unique about it in your view?
Yeah, in my view, what is actually unique about African philosophy and why I write mostly on promoting and removing the bigotry belief about African philosophy is based on morality,
Mhm.
because African ideology, they are based, and the lifestyle they live, the way they believe things, like we have to follow the accordance of of God, of morality. You have to do good, you have to do bad. When you do good, you get the actions. When you do bad, you get the actions. And that is how life is. Sometimes when you are good, you might not see something that is good. Just basically life. So African philosophy shaped the way I reason about these things, because when you study African philosophy and you are so deep in it, you have this kind of mentality of being, living and not affecting people. Let me rephrase that, like, and laying emphasis on giving having empathy on people,
Mhm.
having empathy of people. Like I said, it's just morality basically, like the way you live your life. African philosophy is just about the way you live your life, living right by people and respecting each other. You understand? Basically.
So it's like Ubuntu. Is it
Yeah,
idea of
definitely.
Ubuntu?
Ubuntu. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So your book tackles so many important issues. My question is, and you talk about motivation. My philosophy is that you can inspire people, but you cannot motivate them because motivation is intrinsic. It comes from the inside. So something must be driving you at such a tender age to do all of this. So um, why do you choose to focus on these, and what impact do you hope your readers will take away?
Mm.
Hmm. For me, like I said, I choose to live right, and like you said, now motivation comes from the inside, and I feel like I can inspire people from my writing, basically because I'm this kind of person. I don't really love to talk, but I feel like writing for me is a passage to communicate to people about, like, I feel your pain, I know what you are going through, I want to be there for you. So when people read my book, when readers they go through my books, I want them to feel happy, I want them to laugh, yet still pass the message I need to pass across to them.
Let me have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Can you share a memorable moment or a scene from your book that is especially meaningful to you?
When about Einstein said something like, oh, I've forgotten, like Albert Einstein said something like, if you put a fish on the land, it won't, it won't do well. But if you put a fish in the river, it will swim so well. So I believe that that particular quote from about Einstein is that when you are in the midst of people that understand you very well, you will do right by it. But when you try to communicate to people who doesn't understand what you are going through, so you will feel left out. So that's why I write about these topics that challenges people and resonate to people that are going through it, so that my readers, they will feel the impact of, this person is talking about us, and this person appreciates us.
Mhm. That's a type of what you mentioned now is the type of philosophy that I'm loving with African background and the way that life should be like is the analogy of the fish. We we are very literal people in the
Yeah.
West. Yeah, very literal. We don't use we never like the way that Noel and I grew up in Jamaica. It's we actually understand if you just say the fish out of water, like that,
Yeah,
and
it's
we'll
like a
run with
proverb. The
yeah.
way we use the proverbs.
Yeah, you use proverbs a lot.
Yeah, the phrases, the adage. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the way that we raise our kids too is to understand those. And a lot of times we're around the people
Yeah.
and the way we look at our kids, the look will tell them you need to stop doing what you're doing, or I'm having a private conversation now, so you need to leave the room. Just by looking
Definitely.
at them. It's not telling them anything.
Yeah,
You tell
it's
them,
like a sign language.
yes, yes,
It's like
yes.
a sign language.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that a lot in when I was working in Jamaica too. Um the Dr. Gardner asked you a while ago about the inspiration that people would take from your book. What about young writers? Do you have people who you talk to who share their stories with you, and you say, "Hey, you could probably write a story. You could share your own story. You could share somebody else's story who doesn't have the ability to write, but they share this really good story that would benefit other people." Do you mentor other people?
Yeah, like okay, for instance, because I am this kind of person that when I'm determined to do stuff, I will do it. I write every year and I post it online. People read. So I don't know. At one point, people reach out to me that you are my mentor. I love your work. And I was like, I'm just doing my thing. And that means a lot of people are looking up to you, even without you knowing. Several people, even my friends, they bring their brothers. He wants to write book. Can you mentor him? And
Mhm,
I was like, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just trying to pass the message across. But one thing I'll tell writers is that a lot of time it will feel as if you are alone, you don't even know what you are doing, but you just try to continue writing. Trust me, one day, it's just like somebody will say to me, one day, one work will actually just bring you out and you will not even expect it.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know the bottom line. The bottom line is that you need resources, and if you write books, you expect them to be sold. So
Yeah.
my question to you: how do we? First, can you just reel off your mind the 5 books? Can you just say them off your head like that? Tell us what they are,
Of
and then tell us
course.
where we can find those books. Because I have access to only one. I need to get the other 4.
Yeah, one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have The Lost Cause 2018, The Cataclysm of July 13, 2019, uh, Mirror Image, Trauma, and Scourge.
Wow. And where do we get these books? How do we get them?
Everything is on Amazon seller. Although I have the paperback in Nigeria, like bookstores in Nigeria, they are selling. So I'm trying to just bring some down to the UK so that I can be selling as paperback because I know that a lot of people, some people prefer reading the paperback. They don't like ebooks.
Yeah, yeah.
But presently it's on Amazon, and if you have an iPhone, you can download it on Apple Books.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it's powerful. Powerful stuff. Looking through, I'm gonna read Trauma because this one is very powerful. Um Dr. Gardner, you have another question because I have a follow-up that I want to ask about.
No, basically, I just have a commendation,
Do it.
and maybe a kind of semi question. Young people these days are very resourceful, yes, but there are also other young people who might not be motivated towards becoming something special. They expect that, hey, life is just going to happen. I'm just going to do a quick thing, make some money, whatever. I mean, you are building a foundation. What would you say to the youngsters out there who are in society and I mean, time flies so fast. You're in your 20s now. As you look around, you're going to be in your 30s and your 40s, and you're going to be as old as I am and say, where did, where did the time go? What do you have to say to youngsters for their future?
For the future, I will actually say to the youngsters that, keep doing what you want to do. Because for me, even when I've written 5 books now, I still feel like I've not done enough for myself. I still want to push harder. I told you I want to go into movies. I want to write movies. I want to do stuff for myself. And saying and not putting actions, and I feel like you're just there. You're not saying you're not putting actions. Do it, even though you are not perfect at it. Just keep doing it. Trust me, like I said before, just keep doing what you do. A lot of times it will be boring. A lot of time it will be you will be lonely. Trust me, just keep doing what you have to do, because before you know it, you are 30, you are 40, and time flies. Then when you get to your 40s or 50s, you'll be like, I regret not doing this thing. There is no time. Do
Yeah.
it. If the results are not coming now, trust me, in the future, you have built something for yourself. You have gotten this identity people know you for. Let people know you for something. Impact people, like direct or indirectly. People reach out to me that, oh, you are doing so well. Please don't give up on your dreams, because trust me, sometimes I get tired. I get tired of writing and be like, oh, maybe for some time. Yeah, and you're in the UK, you understand what I'm saying now. You have to go to work, you have to do that. It's not really encouraging if you are not determined to do what you really want to do in life and make a good name for yourself.
Yeah. Powerful. So follow up with that, with the trauma is very, very is a very subtle
Yeah.
topic, and do you call it now? It's a condition, the trauma condition of the mind and the body that carries over. We have had people on this show that talk about trauma, generational trauma too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fascinating. We're gonna have you do something with us with the content, because a lot of us go through trauma and don't even know. We might feel sick
Yeah.
or feel depressed or just sad. And it's from some form of isolated incidents that cause us trauma.
Childhood trauma and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Let me put this up. Because there are a few things I want to go through really quickly. We're winding
Yeah.
down. Um, what do you, when you talk about trauma, and you don't have to give away everything. I just want to promote the idea of this in the book.
Yeah.
We talk about tribal.
Trauma.
Yes. What does that symbolize in terms of the person who receives tribal marks? And you don't have to go into details so much, but a plug that you can give here with the tribal mark
Yeah.
relationship.
With the trauma map on my face on the book, and like there is this article I read before writing about trauma. They said the thin line between tribal mark and sickle cell. So in Yoruba ideology, where I come from, they believe in, I talk about tribal mark and I talk about sickle cell and abiku. Abiku means coming and coming again of a child, and that is Yoruba ideology. Are you with me?
Mhm.
So that is Yoruba ideology. So tribal mark in the olden days in Africa, in Nigeria, it it is a sign they give to people that are, so that people can know where they are from. So there are different types of tribal marks, like the one I put on my face is from one tribe in Africa, is from one tribe in Nigeria. So different types of tribal marks, because people then they do slavery jobs. So people give each other tribal marks so that when they get to see each other later in the future, they will recognize that this one is from my tribe or not. But presently, the society have frowned towards tribal mark,
Mhm.
and they feel like it is not necessary anymore. and it is actually bringing down people's, what's it called, um self, what is it called, self-esteem.
Okay.
So, and there are some aspects of tribal marks again in Yoruba ideology, not in Yoruba present, different types of African belief about tribal marks and putting marks on the body.
Mm-hmm.
That if a child is dying, the child has, okay, come from another world, and the child came to this world to come and punish the parents. So I feel like the tribal mark I was talking about in trauma is about inoculation of, you know, giving a child tribal mark not to go back to the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like you giving a child tribal mark because you feel like it's from another world is like bringing
Mm.
down the child's self-esteem.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the name I've given the main character for that book is Aja. Aja means dog.
Dog. Okay.
So imagine the kind of trauma this person is going through, naming him dog
Mm-hmm.
and giving him tribal mark. Yet he later discovered that he had sickle cell.
Oh.
So that is so much for a very young boy to just hold on to. So I'm saying that trauma mark might be good in the olden days to recognize each other's tribe, but not in the present day.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what the ideology of bringing Ion Trimamark to the story, and not that I really want to discriminate that read or talk less of the Yoruba ideology, but just to tell them that a lot of people are going through these things without their parents knowing that it's not the tribal mark that is affecting them, but they have sickle cell.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
So that is the main purpose of that article, saying the thin line between Abiku and sickle cell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Traditionally, sometimes we label, and the
Yeah,
labels hurt deep,
yeah,
deep, deep.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Really quick, and then Dr. Gordon, I'll ask you to close off in a little bit. Um, your playwright, um,
Yeah.
yeah, pieces. How far along are you with the playwriting part of your writing?
For me, I would say I love playwright more than any other other one,
Yeah.
because I feel like if you read my book, it will
Mm.
be as if you are watching a movie, because I
Yeah.
write as if I'm watching a movie. So a lot of people appreciate my playwright more than other genre I've written, and they feel like, oh, this resonates well because the way I write it. And the last play I've written is about rape. I
Mm-hmm.
think 2 years ago, rape was actually trending in Nigeria. That a lot of say no to rape and everything. I was reading it on Twitter. Then I was like, okay, let me write something about rape and write something about drama, and the plot twist and the way you bring everything up. I feel like you can communicate to the society when I write about these things. The actions. The way I pass plays is like when you read it, you will embody that main character, that person that is talking when they give a dialogue. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, you will embody it so well. I think that is the kind of person I am because I love plays a lot. I love movies. I watch
Yeah.
movies, the plot twists, the way they carry themselves. So
Mhm.
I use some kind of words. And one thing is actually important for me when I write books is about the language. I can use 3 to 4 languages in a book because I just want to pass the direct message to the people.
Mhm. So you watch you have seen Hamilton.
No, no, no.
You haven't.
Most times I watch African stories and documentaries or
Oh, so you're
movies.
based in Africa. Okay, because
Yeah,
I love play. I live in New York.
yeah.
And I go to plays a lot, a lot. Um,
But trust me, now
yeah.
I'm trying to explore. stories in the UK, what
Yeah,
people are going through, the black, say no to,
yeah,
discrimination and all this stuff.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Dr. Garden?
Listen, I just want to, how am I going to summarize this? You are so cognitively superior. And I was speaking with a friend yesterday, and he said, I'll sit with you, Gordon. I'll share some things with you. And it will be so illuminating, but you'll realize that you already know what I told you, but it's now
Yeah.
become so apparent. So let me tell you what you've been doing. There are three things you're doing here. You're telling stories in different format. Allegory, the narrative that conveys a hidden meaning or a message, often a moral or philosophical construct. You're
Yeah.
also giving parables, a short story that conveys a moral or spiritual lesson. And it's also metaphorical storytelling, using
Yeah.
stories to convey deeper meaning or truths beyond literal interpretation. And you using a concoction of these storytelling techniques, and they're allowing you to share your complex ideas, your emotions, or the truth that is engaged engaging people in truth telling in a very relatable way. And let me tell you, what you have is very unique, and we commend you. And Dr. Dice, I'm sure we're going to hold on to this one, right? You're not going to let
Yeah,
it
yeah,
go.
yeah.
All right, back
Yeah,
to you, sir. Give the closing.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, nice summary. Um, Timitoya, I really enjoy this, and it's
Yeah. Thank you
fascinating.
so
Yeah,
much.
it's
I'm
very
humbled.
different from shows that we have done because it brings life. It's like a pure form of life in this.
Thank you.
And yeah, your story is very powerful coming from the motherland of
No, thank you.
Africa.
Thank you so much. I'm so
Yeah,
humbled to be here.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, we're definitely gonna do some things, and Dr. Garden is a fire. It's like a fire, in this place and space. It's good.
He's one of my mentors now.
Oh God, yes, yes. He's mine too. He never slows down. Always moving.
Encouraging.
Yes, yes. That's it's
I thought it was about Timothy.
yeah. It is about him. It's moving. It's
Yeah,
moving.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Goni, like, I
Yeah,
really appreciate him so much. Like, every
yeah,
time he's
yeah.
always telling me, oh, you can do it, you can do this. You
Hmm.
have the power to,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Thank you so much for being on. And this has been EduTalk, everyone. There's one word, and I mentioned it earlier on, Ubuntu, and I
advancing.
see it's coming out in your writing. It's
Yeah,
I am because we are. It's very powerful coming from you, and it shows that somebody who grew up in community
yeah,
and empathy and living that dream. It's of community. It shows
yeah.
in
Yeah.
your behavior and writing. So I want to tell you to keep it up.
Oh, thank you so
Everyone, if
much.
you want to write to us, please write to us. We're gonna drop the titles of the books in the description below on YouTube. Write to us at edusolutionsintl, that's edusolutionsintl at gmail.com, edusolutionsintl at gmail.com. You can also visit our website at edusolutionsintl.org, or if you want to just type into Google Education Solutions International, you'll find us there. What good, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week with another edition of Edu Talk. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.